Hi there, I'm Kat. Use Boma's lead forms to capture the details of leads or prospects to add to your email database. Click on Lead Forms from the main menu to access them. Here you'll see some activities that I've previously built a lead form for. You can have forms that are more permanent, such as sign up for our newsletter button on your website, or something more short-term events based, such as capturing registrations for an event. I've also got these three activities known as a lead magnet, where I'm going to capture people's details in exchange for something of value, such as an ebook or a calculator. Let's jump into my newsletter form and I'll show you how I built that. In Boma, you build your form on the left and you'll see a preview on the right hand side. First step is to name your form. That's just for your reference, but the heading and body are text that you can customize. You'll see them reflected here, letting people know what they're leaving their details on this form for. Choose the fields that you wish to capture and which ones are compulsory. This data will go straight into your Boma contacts database. Now, less is more with this capturing of information. The more that you make people do, the more likely they are to not bother. So just choose the fields that you think you can get away with at a minimum. We have an option to include a terms and conditions checkbox, letting people know that their data will be stored and that they'll be receiving emails from us. That's pretty inherent in a newsletter form, so probably don't need to worry about it for that. But if you are capturing registrations for an event, then even if they don't turn up, they've still given you their permission to store their data and send them emails. Now, when they click submit, we need to decide what happens for them, and we do that on the Post Submit tab. There's two options here. One is to show a customized on-screen message, and for a newsletter, this is probably best. But if you are providing something available for download, such as an ebook or a calculator, here's where you would send them to the URL where they can access that resource. Finally, on the Settings tab is where we can assign a tag to those contacts. So as I mentioned, they'll be added into your Boma database, but we'll be able to identify them via this tag. Choose to receive an email notification whenever someone submits your form, and then identify where you're going to host it. Just pop in the domain of your website and then save the form. There are two options for the form itself. One is hosted for you by Boma, so it's a Boma marketing URL. You can hide that under a button. Alternatively, here is the HTML code that you can take and embed this form on a page on your website. On the Submissions tab is where you can see people that have submitted their details on this form. You'll also see a summary of that on our lead form. Here you can see I've had 3 submissions, 3 of whom were new contacts. So if one of those 3 were already in our database, it would show here with only 2 contacts. Lastly, I can of course find them on my contacts page by filtering by my newsletter tag, search, and there they are. So use Boma's lead forms to build up your email database, capture registrations for events, enabling you to really easily continue marketing to them later. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.